because there was a lot of things that you guys wanted to get very historically accurate with this film, but I imagine that's tough to do when you're making a family film about the crucifixion. What was that like? What were the discussions around that? How did you guys want to make sure that this was,
Man,
really taken care of?
you're the first to ever ask about the crucifixion. And
Oh,
it's been
wow.
crazy because we've done a ton of interviews and everybody seems to sort of stay away from
Avoid it.
that subject. But 100%
Yeah.
you're right. We knew that was where we were headed when we were telling this story. We were working with the writers and structuring this film. We knew it had to be in there and toward the end. The hard
Mm.
part is you don't want to end there. And so
Right.
we had to really decide how much more story do we tell past that, but you have to, because that's where the hope comes in. Because
Mhm.
spoiler alert, he rises again.
And for us, we always knew we had one shot at telling the story of the life of Jesus, and we wanted to tell it the last 3 years of his life. We also know that this is a family film. This
Mhm.
is one that we want families to feel comfortable that they could take their 6-year-old to this.
Mhm.
We had to make sure we keep this a PG rating because once it goes PG-13, we really isolate our audience. So,
Yeah.
so we didn't want to hide away from the crucifixion. We leaned into it, but what we did is we kind of made like when you've seen Jesus being scourged and that you never see it happen. You hear a whip and you hear him cry
Mhm.
out. You never see that happen. We kind of played with the audio to make sure like, hey, sometimes what you hear and what you don't see can be just as impactful. What we did too is how we staged it. You're seeing the Roman soldiers line up the spike to his wrist and everything, but right when that hammer is about to go down, John leans into it and he turns away and he's looking to the audience and the audience is seeing his anguish. And what we were really hoping for by this time in the film, that the audience not only fell in love with Jesus, John, but they also fell in love with Jesus because of John, what John saw in him. And so
Mhm.
when they saw that anguish of John, they felt the gravity of that because of John. We had amazing storyboard artists, heads of story, everyone kind of us thinking through this. And at the end of the day, Tom and I's job really is we hear everyone's best ideas, but now what's going to make it work and apply it there. We had over 400 people working on this movie, and I would say 85% of them were not believers.
Mhm.
Why they joined it was because they fell in love with the art, the concept art. They fell in love with
Mhm.
the paintings, and they fell in love with the passion that Tom and I had about what we believed in.